I was going to put out my promised video about a Yorkshire school, which was going to be the second in a two-parter about two different types of woke education. One in America, in New York to be specific, and one in the UK, in Yorkshire. And if you were looking forward to that, then I have bad news for you. You're going to have to wait, because Megan Smollett has thrown a spanner in the works. Look, you can't expect me to ignore that, can you? So hold your breath for another day or so and watch this while you wait. Now, if anything could be called Diana's revenge, this is it. She planted a bomb in the royal family and then just let the timer take its course. I hesitate to call ex-Prince Harry a total but, well, he's a total What can I say? There's no doubt that Prince Charles treated Diana badly. There's also no doubt he was unfaithful. And so was Diana, for which I can't blame her. She was unfaithful with a polo player. This guy. I mean, the one on the right. No, the left. I'm sorry, I don't know which way round the photos are going to come up on this. So, well, you work it out for yourself. There's also no doubt that Charles has remained a gentleman about it and has been as much of a father to this second son as to his first. And now this second son appears to be doing his best to destroy the whole family and the institutions which they support and which support them. So I've been looking at some American critics of the Oprah Winfrey interview, and to my surprise, the ones I've found, I admit I haven't looked at all of them, the ones I've found have been fairly unfriendly towards Megan Smollett. I didn't see any CNN reports though, but I can imagine they gave it the thumbs up in line with your president, President Joe Biden. But the podcasts I have seen have been, well, as I say, not that supportive. I know Americans, generally speaking, have an unsympathetic attitude to the idea of monarchy, you know, bad King George and all that. But I have to tell you, you're wrong. You see, over here, the monarch is a neutral, over-ritualised icon above politics, embodying the country but divorced from the hurly-burly of politics generally, not coming out very much and expressing a proper political view, with little actual political power and directed in all his or her actions by a group of mandarins. Oh, wait. Well, moving swiftly on, let's get back to basics. There is something else about the royal family that might surprise some Americans, and that's a fairly casual attitude to the prospect of their own deaths. I did mention in a previous video about an American couple walking through a wood in Norfolk near the Queen's country retreat at Sandringham when they happened upon the Queen out walking her dogs with no obvious accompanying people. Yes, there's security, of course, but it's nothing like the sort of security that accompanies most presidents of whatever country, and that's because the president is constitutionally very difficult to replace. If you shoot the president, you might actually change the direction the government's taking. But that doesn't happen with a monarch. The monarch can be replaced in minutes by any amount of successors. You might have heard the expression, the king is dead, long live the king. Well, that's how it goes. So that's another thing. And keeping that in the background, I'll just go through a few of the things that Ms. Smollett was telling to Oprah. There are more, but well, yeah, how long have you got? So, one, no security, and that's the first thing I'm talking about. Only the direct in line to the throne get security, and even that's pretty minimal. This married couple, Harry and Meghan, were given an upgraded mansion in a nice estate and a huge royal allowance. They could pay for their own security. Second, Archie wasn't getting the title prince. I don't know where she thinks she's coming from. No one gets the title prince or princess unless they're unless they're the direct children of the monarch or in direct line to the throne. The royal family is huge. How many princes can a nation have? Princess Anne is the child of the Queen and the sister of the future king, and even her children aren't called prince or princess anything. They have no royal titles. Okay, third, racism. The worst thing you can say. You can be a paedophile, you can rape, you can murder. No, racism is the terrible thing. But she wouldn't name the person who committed this dreadful sin, and she described the references to Archie's potential skin colour in such an oblique, slidey sort of way. It doesn't sound to me like it was actually a direct reference and that she had taken it so, because she's Smollett, isn't she? It could have been just, well, it might not have happened at all. Or it could have been just a casual remark about whom the child might resemble. I don't believe it was racism, and I don't believe it for a specific reason. And that is, the royal family have been trained more or less from birth to watch their mouths, unlike Miss Smollett. The smallest remark could be picked up by a servant and sold. They are constantly being watched. Look, you know, being royal isn't all beer and skittles. You can't do what you like when you like. You have to appear at events. You have to be polite to people you can't stand. You couldn't even act the way she seems to think they can act in the Middle Ages, still less today. I remember years and years ago, my mother making a fuss about a photograph in the newspaper. It was of the Queen, and she was sitting bolt upright on a hot day while a military parade, one of thousands she must have seen, and the first of thousands she was yet to see, because this was years ago, she in a life constrained by military parades. And she was watching this military parade go past with every appearance of attention and respect. And as she was sitting there doing that, next to her, the Minister for Defence was overcome by the heat of the day and no doubt from all the reception stuff that went on before, and he was slumped down in his chair, fast asleep next to her. It's a famous photo, I'm sure I can find. I don't remember his name. Mullins or something? I don't remember. Anyway, I'll put a photo here. I don't think Markle was prepared to put in those sort of hours or that sort of work. She wasn't prepared to go with protocol, either the protocol or the schedule of the servants. There's been allegations of bullying. Remember, the sort of servants you get in the royal family are paid staff of British people who feel the responsibility and honour of serving within the royal system. They're not a bunch of Colombians you can bully to your heart's content because they got to California through the desert at night. So she can't deal with the servants in a palace the way she thinks she can deal with servants in California. It doesn't surprise me that those two ended up in California. It's so much easier when you have a lot of people who are afraid to go to the police ministering to your every whim, isn't it? And apart from that, Miss Smollett wasn't prepared even to take their advice on protocol. She went on a trip to Fiji, for instance, a royal visit, which had implications. It was a state visit, and she wore a pair of earrings given to her by the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia as a wedding present. It's very nice, and no doubt they were very pretty earrings, but it just so happened that at the very same time they were making this visit and she was wearing the earrings, the Khashoggi murder was hitting the news. Because of Prince Salman's possible involvement, she was asked not to wear those earrings. For God's sake, she must have dozens of earrings that she could have worn. But she wore those earrings anyway. I'll show them I can do what I want. That was disgraceful. Now, my opinion of Markle, she's a shallow, conniving entertainer. And that's fine. I don't expect entertainers to be great people. I just expect them to entertain. But what I don't expect is for her husband, who knew all this stuff, and for instance, he knew that Archie couldn't be called a prince. I don't know whether he explained that to her or not, but he sat by her side, and by his silence, he confirmed this view of her as the victim of a whole lot of vicious plotting. And my opinion of him, well, I can't actually tell you, because at least one upload of this video is going to be on YouTube. Why not treat yourself or a favoured relative or friend to these magnificent examples of merch? The mugs and t-shirts come in the Graniopteryx design or Granbo with a firearm or the more deadly knitting needles. Go to www.graniopteryx.com and whatever platform you're watching this on, please click like, subscribe and share.